Memorial. What's that? The Quakers kept bringing up, get rid of slavery, get rid of slavery, get rid of slavery. So Betsy Ross was an anti-slavery Quaker. So if anybody wants
The
to pick on
irony
a
is thick.
woman, you don't want to protest somebody that's a champion of anti-slavery. It's like, this doesn't fit into the your storyline of wanting to be against slavery by protesting somebody that's against slavery. It's like they definitely don't have their history down. Betsy Ross, she, as a Quaker, married John Ross, who was an Episcopalian. They went to the Christ Church in Philadelphia, where George Washington's pew was there, and Ben Franklin's pew was not far away. And John Ross was killed when a munitions depot he was guarding blows up. So now Betsy Ross is a widow. Her uncle George Ross signed the Declaration of Independence. He and Washington visit her. She's a seamstress, and ask her to sew a flag. Matter of fact, she sews many flags. She sews the flags for the Pennsylvania Navy. And if you look at those original flags, they look a whole lot like the Betsy Ross flag. Now, the design of the flag, there's Francis Hopkinson. He looks like he's the one who came up with the design, but obviously he didn't sew it. So anyway, she marries Joseph Ashburn in the Lutheran Church, Old Swedes Church, and the British quarter in their home when the British take over Philadelphia. And he is a sea captain, so he goes to the West Indies to look for supplies to smuggle in for the Americans. And he's captured. And he's put in the terrible old mill prison in the Bahamas, and he dies in prison. Well, the cellmate is John Claypool. And after John Claypool gets out, he goes to tell the widow of Joseph Ashburn's death. John Claypool falls in love with Betsy Ross, and they get married and have 5 kids. So Betsy Ross is married to 5 patriots, and just a tremendous woman, very courageous, and they have a 3-cent stamp that they issued in 1952. They named the bridge over the Delaware River the Betsy Ross Bridge. And
are they going to tear that down now? Are they going to tear that down now because it's racist?
Yeah. So if you're it just doesn't hold water to call Betsy Ross a racist. She was born and raised a Quaker, and they're the ones that went on record as being the first and the strongest opponents of slavery in American history. Matter of fact, the Quakers started an anti-slavery organization, and then Ben Franklin became the president of it. And it's the first anti-slavery organization in America. And so that's one of the women of the Revolution.
Hold on, Pastor Rick would like to ask something real quick.
It ties into the whole Betsy Ross flag, Copernic kneeling in the flag. I guess the real problem, maybe you can answer this. The real problem that Copernic and everyone else had with the flag was the national anthem because of one of the verses that Francis Scott Key put in that referenced slavery. Do you know anything about that?
Right. So Francis Scott Key was against slavery. He defended the slaves that were captured on the Antelope. This was a slave ship from Africa caught off the coast of Florida by our Coast Guard. And he spends 7 years of his own money fighting all the way to the Supreme Court to get these slaves free. Francis Scott Key was against slavery. And then when they capture another slave ship called the Amistad, John Quincy Adams is the key lawyer, and Francis Scott Key is assisting him. And that goes all the way to the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, you had a Democrat-controlled Supreme Court. Now, the Republican Party had not come into existence yet, but the Democrat Party had. And so on the Supreme Court were Democrat slave owners in the South. And so they, unfortunately, didn't decide the right way with the Antelope case and with the Amistad. So anyway, Francis Scott Key, by the way, wrote the song originally in 1805 for the return of Stephen Decatur from the Barbary Pirate Wars. And so the first writing of the Star-Spangled Banner says that, pale beams the crescent, its splendor obscured by the light of the star-spangled flag of our nation, and the turban head bowed to the terrible glare, and, the home of the free and the brave. So he writes the song actually 9 years earlier to protest the or to celebrate the victory over the Muslim Barbary pirates. And he basically rewrites the wording of it in September of 1814 when he sees the flag still waving over Fort McHenry.
Wow, you are a veritable font of information. Wow. You got anything, Alex?
Well, it's something you certainly won't hear from the media today, but it seems to me that the whole argument on the Betsy Ross flag, it's not about racist symbols, it's about attacking the symbols of our country and our culture. The game plan is to destroy our country and institute a socialist dictatorship.
Yeah, well, I think so. I could buy that. So, can I play Stump the Professor one more time?
Yes.
Okay, how about Deborah Sampson? Do you know who Deborah Sampson was?
Right in front of me. Well,
He's getting ready for his airplane,
she's one
folks.
of the women during the Revolutionary War. I actually have a whole list of I'm writing a chapter in a book of all these famous women. They would hang laundry up to give signals to Washington men.
Whoa, can you hear me?
They would dress, one of them, Deborah Champion, dresses an old lady.
Hey, Bill? Bill, can you hear me?
Messages from her dad, who was the commissary of the Continental Army. She put the letters in the folds of her dress.
I'm sorry, folks. We're having a little problem here.
You had lots of courageous women, but I don't have that one right in front of me.
Okay.
So, you want to
hey, Bill?
The story, I'll finish it.
We're having a hard time hearing you right now. There's a lot of background noise, or you're stepping away from the phone a little bit. How about Molly Pitcher?
Hello?
Can you hear me now? Oh, this is sad.
Hello?
Hello, Bill.
Hello?
Okay. Well, Bill, we're going to have to say goodbye. We seem to have lost connection with you, and you've got a plane to make a connection with. So, yep. All right. We've officially lost Bill. I'm very sorry about that, folks, especially since now we've got, I don't know, we're looking at about 3 minutes of dead air, Phil.
Well, first of all, I think Bill really did a good job of talking about Betsy Ross and and the Star Spangled Banner.
Yep.
It seems that people want to ignore the motivation and the goodwill of the founding fathers and mothers of this country, and I think that we need to go back to read this history to understand it, so we could sort of have good arguments against the current leftist media and their portrayal of our founding.
Well, I had asked Bill about Deborah Sampson because I found Deborah Sampson's account pretty intriguing, because Deborah Sampson went by another name, and the other name she went by was Robert Shirtleaf. Yep, she went by Robert Shirtleaf. She enlisted in the Revolutionary Army as a man, and she fought bravely for this country as a patriot. She couldn't go into battle as a woman, so she enlisted as a man, and she was injured, and the doctor, upon examining her for her injuries, was basically doing, the thing a doctor normally does, feel around here, feel around there, and discovered that he was not he and was a she. Now, this is not a take on the Kinks tune, okay? So this is not Lola. This woman was a patriot. She was not confused about her gender, and she wasn't confused about her patriotism either. So she was quite the person. She lived quite an old age, and she had woodworking and a mechanical genius. She did basket weaving, carpentry. She did all kinds of stuff. And she's just one of the unsung heroes of this country. There are others like Molly Pitcher. There's Prudence Cumming Wright and Lydia Darragh, who was a spy for Washington. So
don't forget Abigail Adams.
Well,
she
actually
educated black children in her own home.
Listen, there's that music. What's that music name? Oh, is it? Oh, okay. So we're coming up on the hard break, folks. Come on back after the break. Join us, and we'll have more fun. We're going to have Congressman Tim Walberg join us.
People are always headed somewhere. How do they keep up on the latest news and information? They listen to Wham, just like you. If you have a product or business to advertise, your message can reach these listeners wherever they are. People tune to Wham Radio for the latest issues, discussed by hosts like Thayrone X, Steve Gruber, and Joe Pags. Call 734-971-1600 today and advertise with Wham Radio, 1600 AM, 92.7 FM. You'd be insane to be anyplace else.
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. Those living in and near Ridgecrest, California are living in fear of what could be next after Friday night's 7.1 magnitude earthquake that eclipsed Thursday's 6.4 trembler.
There has not been a vast amount of damage physically, but clearly these kind of quakes coming one after another do a great deal of damage to the psyche of residents here.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt, there have been some injuries, none serious, but no fatalities reported. Reports of several injuries, though, following what's believed to have been a gas explosion at a Florida shopping plaza. Police and firefighters in Plantation say the blast sent big pieces of debris flying up to 100 yards from the scene. One police officer says there are no known fatalities, but fire and rescue personnel say they're dealing with multiple patients. Plantation is located in Broward County, west of Fort Lauderdale. This is Fox News.
Every day, 365 days a year, you open and close your garage door. You hardly even think about your garage door until it stops working. Locally owned and operated, Plymouth Door staff has experience installing and servicing garage doors, openers, and storm doors from leading door manufacturers since 1977. Looking to purchase a new garage door or storm door? Plymouth Door can handle any make and model with expert installation and incredible warranty protection. Their technicians are licensed and insured. Plymouth Door is conveniently located at 728 South Main Street near downtown Plymouth. Stop in, see the showroom, and get inspired to beautify your home. Plymouth Door has a walk-in parts department with thousands of parts in stock available for the do-it-yourselfer.
Plymouth Door's got the best service, warranty, and prices. Visit PlymouthDoor.com. Call 734-459-3667. Plymouth Door, where the service and quality come home.
Your bridge to recovery and wellness is WellBridge. WellBridge is redefining the rehabilitation and nursing care experience with the most amazing care facilities you've ever seen. All WellBridge locations offer a resort-like atmosphere, and their driving goal is to provide each guest with an epic experience. Here's former patient Chris Tangeman from Howell.
I had back surgery. I had to go there for like 3 or 4 weeks, and let me tell you, they were just superb. I'm in this industry, I'm an LPN, and I mean, they're just excellent. The aides, the nurses, everybody. I thought especially that their therapy department was just phenomenal, and I would absolutely recommend WellBridge.
For rehabilitation and nursing care, ask for something epic. Ask for WellBridge. In Brighton, Fenton, Novi, and Pinckney. Now looking for talented nurses and certified nurse assistants to join their growing team, WellBridge invites everyone to learn more about them at thewellbridgegroup.com. WellBridge, your bridge to recovery and wellness starts here.
Summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather's fine,
I love that song. I love that song.
That does sound like summer.
So welcome back, folks, to the Drift Radio Show. And sitting in, my name is Ed Bonderenka. Gary is unavailable at the moment, but he'll be back next week, we're told. And sitting in with me is Alex Wassell and Pastor Richard Dieterin. And we have on the phone waiting to talk to us Congressman Tim Walberg, who's going to join us in a minute after we tell you about AAA Service Network. If you need any kind of work done, I'm going to list some stuff here: plumbing, water heater, appliance service, water softener service, AC and heating system installed, water heater replacement, drain and sewer cleaning, sump pump service, water softener installation, AC startup check, a home generator, sump pump. You get the idea, folks? Anything. There are coupons for all this stuff on the back page of the current newspaper, or go to currentonline.com. tell them you heard about them through the Drift Radio Show and the current newspaper. Okay?